What's up, guys? Welcome back to Deco-Crete TV. My name's Jeff, and today's video is going to be on the top 10 useful tools for concrete countertops. So stay tuned, and you're going to see all about it. So first up on the board is going to be either a table saw or some sort of a track saw, or at very least something like this, which is, it's essentially kind of a homemade track saw system to where, you buy these couple things and you fit it up to your own circular saw. So, whenever we're building forms, it's just really important that we have really precise, nice straight cuts. We need them to be clean, but we need them to be really, perfect. So just trying to chalk a line and just cut it with a circular saw, not a good idea. So table saw, track saw, or some sort of guide. Next up on the list, and again, these are no in particular order. These are just, top 10 tools. It's not like one of these is more important than another one. They're all needed here, but we're gonna need some squares and some straight edges. And so, the squares, and especially for during the templating process, I really like plastic squares. That way, if you end up dropping one, you're not dinging up your customer's hardwood floors as much as it was if you had metal squares. So squares, but then also straight edges, just really helpful for laying out your designs on your casting surface. And so squares and straight edges. Next up is going to be a multi-tool or an oscillating tool. And this can be really handy if you're forming up countertops in place and you're gonna pour them right on the cabinets. There's always a little notch that needs to be made somewhere, and it's just really works a lot better than trying to get in there with a circular saw or a Sawzall. The other thing these are great for is if you're prefabbing countertops during the installation process. There's always, again, a little notch that needs made. Any plumbing when you're hooking up your sink, a lot of times that plumbing is all the way up against the cabinets and you're just not able to get in there, with a circular saw, and this is just easier, cleaner than a handsaw. So multi-tool. Another great thing is a jigsaw. Now again, a couple different things that we'd use this for. If we're prefabbing a kitchen countertop, we're always gonna have to address the sink. We're gonna need to make a knockout, usually out of styrofoam, and this is a really good way to cut that out. Now, if you're pouring in place, you're still gonna have to make a spot where the sink is gonna go. And so again, that's usually plywood at that point, but the jigsaw is gonna be our best friend there. So next up on the list, some sort of a finish nailer, a nail gun of some sort. I like this one here because it shoots up to 2.5-inch finish nails. So that way I can rip my melamine 2 inches tall, and I can use this guy and it'll shoot all the way down through them. So a finish nailer that ideally shoots a minimum of 2.5-inch nails. And then just a little brad nailer, again, can come in handy for nailing corners. If you're doing something a little bit more intricate, or maybe something smaller, also for nailing on form liners, a little brad nailer is great to have. So another thing that was really useful is tape, and even a variety of different tapes. Now these two here are two that I use a lot. The first one being this one here, this vinyl tape. Anytime that you're making that sink knockout, it's always good to wrap that with something so that you don't pick up the texture of that styrofoam. So we can wrap it with this tape. It'll get really smooth on that edge and look a lot more like the melamine or whatever you're casting on. So vinyl tape, and again, that's only one of very many uses that the vinyl tape is great for. And then also this double-sided tape. Again, depending on our casting surface, if we can't use nails to actually fasten our side rails down, some double-sided tape, 2-inch styrofoam, we can stick that stuff right down and then we can pour right up against it. So variety of different tapes. So next up would be a drywall hopper gun. Now again, this would be exclusive to just GFRC. We wouldn't use this for a wet cast mix, but if we're doing GFRC, whatever our process is for our main area, we're always gonna need this at very least for the edges. So next up is some pouring and finishing tools. Now again, in GFRC, I'm a big fan of these drywall knives. This is just a great way to build edges along GFRC, as well as a way to kind of spread it out and help smooth it. Obviously, if you're pouring a wet cast mix upside down, you don't need a ton of tools there, although a lot of guys just like to have a trowel just to smooth the back of them off. Pouring in place, right side up, now we're gonna need a variety of trowels, as well as maybe a screed and a few additional pouring tools like a magnesium trowel, but some sort of trowels are gonna be really helpful. Couple honorable mentions in this list before we get to number one is, obviously we're gonna need an air compressor to run these tools. There's gonna be a lot of other things you're gonna use for concrete countertops you're gonna need an air compressor for. And the other thing would be just some simple wood shims. Something as simple as this, surface here that we're about to cast on. If our floor isn't completely level, just a couple shims would really help us out just leveling everything up. Now, this little set right here, this is a caulking tool set. And again, we're forming up these edges. This wouldn't really be very important in cast in place, but if we're gonna prefab something, we're always gonna wanna address this little transition here. So these little guys here, I honestly used to hate the silicone part of concrete countertop molds until I started to learn how to use these, and now I honestly, it is not a big deal. So next on the list is gonna be a miter saw. Now, you know, you don't need to have one that's on this stand, and you definitely don't need one with a radial arm on it, and this one doesn't, but some sort of a miter saw is really helpful. Again, you know, this is very intricate work, and we need all our cuts to be really precise, and trying to just do that with a circular saw, I've just never had much luck, so some sort of a miter saw. All right, so here we go. Number one most helpful tool for concrete countertops is gonna be a mixer. Now, there's a lot of variety out there, and this is gonna depend, you know, whether you're making a GFRC mix, whether you're making a wet cast mix. Wet cast, honestly, a drum mixer generally works the best. GFRC, we're looking for some sort of a paddle like this. Obviously, it could be a handheld mixer if that's all you have, but this guy here is absolutely awesome. We can make a lot in here at a time. It's got a little blade here that scrapes the sides, and so no matter what, if we're gonna pour a concrete countertop, we're gonna have to actually mix the material. So a mixer. Well, that's pretty much it, guys. There we go. 10 really useful tools for concrete countertops. I know everybody's got their own favorite tools for concrete countertops, so please leave us a comment right below. Let us know what your favorite tools are. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you like what you've seen here, and if you really want to help us out, please hit that bell icon. You know, that way you don't miss any of our upcoming videos, and it really helps our channel out. So, from all of us here at Deco-Crete TV, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.